What if your jaw is the reason why your hips are tilted to the side, one hip is hiked up, and your shoulders are uneven? I know that sounds crazy, but today I'm going to teach you about the jaw, how to address imbalances and different issues going on in the jaw. If you ignore this stuff, just remember, no amount of corrective exercise, isolated strengthening, or stretching is truly going to really help fix your lateral pelvic tilt, get those hips even, because you're really not addressing something that is very important and is oftentimes associated with it. If you're new to my channel and my content, lateral pelvic tilt is when your hips are tilted sideways like this. One hip or one iliac crest, this ridge right here, is usually hiked up higher than the other side. Typically, if that's going on, if the hip's hiked up, the shoulder on the same side will get pulled down to meet that high hip. And something like this is usually gonna kind of be present. Now, I've helped hundreds of people, maybe thousands of people fix their lateral pelvic tilt, okay? I help my online coaching clients with this a lot, but I've also made a lot of YouTube videos about this, many of which I will put in the description down beneath this video. In all of those videos, I'm showing you different stretches and strengthening drills for the hip region themselves. Today, I'm gonna be talking about something completely different. Today's focus is going to be around the relationship that the jaw and the tongue, yes, the tongue, the relationship that these things have with the pelvis. Here's why the tongue is important. The tongue is supposed to be resting. If this is the roof of the mouth, the tongue is supposed to be up here. That is the resting position of the tongue. All right, tip of the tongue just behind the front teeth, mid-tongue up in the middle of the palate, and the back of the tongue back here. If your tongue hangs too low in your jaw, right, in the bottom of your jaw, or if it's shifted more off to one side versus the other, that can shift your jawbone, your mandible, off center. Over time, that jaw-tongue issue can cascade down your nervous system, affect the shoulder, the hips, and the lumbar spine. One exercise that I have clients do a lot to help with their tongue is a tongue push-up. All right, it's kind of a stretch slash strengthening exercise. We're strengthening the muscles of the tongue that are supposed to be strong to keep the tongue up in proper tongue posture. We're also stretching tissue underneath the tongue, like the frenulum, which can be restricted in a lot of people, preventing them from getting the tongue up into that proper resting posture. So it's really simple how to do this. Basically, imagine that this is the roof of your mouth, this is your tongue. What you want to do with your mouth closed is seal the tongue to the roof of the mouth. The tip of the tongue just behind the front teeth, mid-tongue, back of the tongue, suction it and seal it there with the mouth closed, and then you're gonna open your mouth wide, keeping the tongue sealed and pressed up flat to the roof of the mouth, okay? I'm gonna get real up close and personal here, but I'll show you how to do this. Tongue sealed. All right, that's how you do it. When you're doing that, you should basically feel a stretch underneath your tongue, your frenulum. Again, close the mouth, suction the tongue to the roof of the mouth, and then open the mouth as wide as you can. And you just hold that. You hold that stretch isometrically or statically. That's a powerful thing to do. The more you struggle to do that, the more you need to be doing that, right? If you do weird stuff, it feels weak, you can't get your tongue up there, you kind of end up sticking your tongue out instead, like something like that. The more that you struggle to do this, the more important it is for you to be working on that tongue posture. That's not something I'd have you do a lot of if you're a one-on-one coaching client of mine. Based off of your ability to do it, I might have you do one set of this for 30 seconds to a minute each day. But you see, the tongue is only a part of the story here. The big thing today as it relates to your lateral pelvic tilt is the jawbone, the mandible itself. If your jawbone can deviate to the side, shift laterally towards the side, if it can shift more so in one direction than the other direction, this type of mechanical imbalance in the jaw oftentimes drives up the hip on the side that you can shift your jaw more towards. Here's two simple tests you can do on yourself right now. Stand in front of the mirror or open up your phone, put it on selfie mode, relax your mouth and your lips, and practice opening your jaw a couple times. And look at the path that your jaw is taking. Is it tracking straight up and down like that? Or are you noticing that it's deviating more to one side versus the other? Another test that you can do, again in front of a mirror or with your phone on selfie mode, is relax your lip and your face muscles, all right? Open your mouth a little bit, like an inch, all right? And then just shift your jaw to the left as far as you can, shift your jaw to the right as far as you can. Go left, go right, go left, go right. And again, look for symmetry here. Are you able to shift your jaw significantly further to one side versus the other? If so, take note of that. Basically what I want you to know, if during any of those two tests, you notice that your jaw tends to favor one side more than the other, and if you also have lateral pelvic tilt going on, then this is a major correlated factor and something that's likely affecting your neurology and might actually be causing your lateral pelvic tilt at the root level. This is not always the case, but typically the direction that you can shift your jaw more towards, like if I could shift my jaw more this way, I might notice that the hip is hiked up on that side and my shoulder is lower on that side. And vice versa if I can shift my jaw more this way. I'd encourage you to take a video of yourself when you're doing this, just to confirm that you're seeing things accurately and kind of from an objective perspective. All right, if you did these tests and you're kind of freaking out right now, you've noticed that your jaw is doing this stuff, don't worry, because I'm going to show you 3 different drills right now that can really help to improve your jaw balance and its mechanics. Performing these regularly can go a long way in helping you to resolve your lateral pelvic tilt, especially if the jawbone is a significant contributing factor. The first thing that we want to do is release the jaw muscles on the side of the face that you can shift your jaw more towards. All right? What those muscles are the masseter muscle and the temporalis muscle. Okay? This muscle right here and this muscle, when they contract, they close the jaw, but they also laterally deviate the jaw. Okay? They pull your jaw that way. When the same muscles on the opposite side, masseter, temporalis muscles, when they contract on this side, they shift your jaw more this way. Okay? When these contract, take your jaw that way. When these contract, they take your jaw this way. Basically, whichever side you tend to shift more towards, those are the masseter muscles and the temporalis muscles that we're going to release right now. All right? These muscles are likely overactive and working too much. If your jaw is shifting more towards that side, then those muscles are working too much. And what we want to do here is about 30 seconds of self-myofascial release on these muscles to weaken them a little bit, downregulate the neurological drive going into them, telling them to squeeze and contract, because there's a high likelihood these muscles are what we call hypertonic. They're working too much, right? Again, we only do this on the side that the jaw shifts more towards. But to release these muscles, very simple. 2 fingers on the masseter muscle. Again, we're only doing this on the side that the jaw is shifting towards. So if I could shift my jaw more that way, all right? I'm releasing the masseter. Basically 2 fingers, kind of press firmly in here and make little circular motions, all right? If you're having a hard time finding these muscles, bite down. You'll feel them contract. Those are the muscles that we want to be massaging. 30 seconds here, and then with a flat palm, you want to put it just behind your temple, like right here, and massage the temporalis muscles on that side, all right, just like this. Again, 30 seconds here with 2 fingers, 30 seconds here on the side of the face that the jaw can shift more towards. So that's exercise number 1. We release the muscles that are laterally deviating that jaw more to one side versus the other. And again, we're doing this specifically on the side that the jaw shifts more towards. Exercise number 2 are going to be dynamic lateral deviations. And basically what this means is you're simply going to shift the jaw more towards the side that you're not able to shift it towards. All right? So for example, during my test, if I am able to go like this, but then when I try to go this way, I'm doing this. So I'm basically able to go significantly further that way than I am this way. Then what I know I need to be practicing is deviating my jaw that way, all right? It's very simple. All that you're going to do is practice that, all right? Deviate as far to the side as you can. Come back to the midline. All right, it's probably going to feel weird trying to take your jaw towards that side that you don't have a lot of range of motion in already, but that's the whole point of this. We're trying to correct that imbalance and bring more symmetry to the face and the jawbone. A couple of mistakes that a lot of people make with this when they're doing this is they bring their lips and these muscles into play too much, and they'll go like this. All right, that is me moving my lips, not sliding my mandible side to side. All right, so in order to encourage you to not use your lips when you're doing this, what I would tell you to do is relax your jaw a little bit. All right, have your mouth be open slightly, lips not touching, okay, like that. Practice the lateral deviations with the mouth open slightly and the lips not touching. And again, with this one, we are shifting the jaw towards the side that we cannot shift it towards, all right? And we're doing 15 reps of this, okay? So to recap where we're at so far, we spend 30 seconds massaging the masseter muscles and the temporalis muscles on the side that we can shift the jaw more towards, and the side that we notice our jawbone gravitating towards more. It's the muscles that we want to release that are on that same side as the jaw shift, where we have more range of motion, where the jaw tends to go. Those are the muscles that we want to release. When we're doing the strengthening drills here, the dynamic lateral deviations, now we're pushing the jaw away from the side that we tend to shift our jaw towards, okay? And we're doing about 15 reps of this. If I could shift my jaw more this way, my jaw is always going that way, it's hard for me to take my jaw this way, all right? Then I'm always gonna go that way when I'm practicing this drill. All right, again, mouth open slightly, lips and face relaxed. The last thing that we wanna practice is isometric strengthening. We don't wanna do too much of that lateral deviation. 15 reps is very precisely what I have my online coaching clients do. If I see this, if we do too much of that movement, that can kind of irritate the temporal mandibular joints, the TMJs, and we don't want to do that. So while a little bit of that can be okay, mainly my favorite way of kind of addressing these imbalances is isometric strengthening, all right? With this, no movement of the jaw is occurring, so it's very safe, and the likelihood of this flaring up the TMJs is very low, all right? Because we're strengthening the muscles on the weak side, the side that the jaw does not want to shift towards, isometrically. We're strengthening them, but no movement of the jaw or the temporal mandibular joints is occurring. So this, like the second exercise, we want to do on the same side that the jaw is not able to shift towards, all right? So again, if I can shift my jaw way more that way, and then I have a hard time going this way, it's this side that I want to be strengthening. And this is actually an isometric exercise for the masseter muscles and the temporalis muscles. The way to do this, super simple. Again, we're strengthening the muscles on the side of the face that the jaw cannot shift towards. We're trying to strengthen those, give them more muscular balance with the other side, which is tighter, all right? Put your hand on your jaw and just simply block it, all right? You're putting your hand right here and you're just not going to allow the jaw to move. And what you're gonna do here is you're gonna actually drive the jaw this way into the hand, okay? So I'm pushing my jaw that way, pretty hard, okay? Within reasonability and comfort, but I'm driving it that way, but I'm not actually allowing the jaw to move. My jaw still stacks up straight over that midline. I'm blocking the jaw from moving with this hand. However, I'm still activating and turning on this and this. It's not gonna look like anything when you're doing it, but the goal here is to turn these muscles on here and here without the jaw actually moving. So it's gonna look like this. Block, press the jaw in. That's it. So again, it doesn't look like I'm doing anything, but I'm blocking the jaw, I'm activating these muscles, pressing the jaw into the hand, but blocking the jaw from moving with my hand. It's isometric, it's very safe. You should feel these muscles over here tightening up and contracting as you do this. You don't need to hammer these drills like you would a gym workout. The key here is just doing these consistently. Just a couple minutes a day. It should literally take you less than like 2 minutes to do these things. Goes a really far way, and the benefits of doing it really compound in helping you to fix your lateral pelvic tilt and your shoulders, especially if this is going on to a significant degree. This part is very important. Like with any kind of corrective work, assessment is very important. We always want to assess and not guess. So hopefully you began with the first self-assessments that I taught you at the beginning of this video in front of the mirror, all right? The reason why that's important is because you want to retest this. After you've been doing this for about 2 weeks, you want to do that test again and see if your jaw is tracking straighter. If it is tracking straighter and your ability to shift your jaw this way is equal to that way now, things are moving straight up and down, then it is not necessary to keep doing this asymmetrical stuff to your face and jaw. In fact, once you've made progress with this and once you've fixed this, I would encourage you to lay off of doing those types of drills I showed you today because you've already addressed the issue, all right? Overdoing these can cause the same issue to manifest in the opposite way. So again, don't guess, assess. If you've been doing these drills consistently for about a week or two and you're not noticing results and things are feeling worse, you're noticing that your TMJs are starting to click, you're getting issues like that, you're experiencing any kind of pain, then stop doing these exercises and see a professional. Sometimes these jaw issues are actually due to structural things like bite problems, the way that your teeth are aligned, so on and so forth. If that's the case for you, then seeing like a dentist, an orthodontist, or a craniofacial therapist might be the best kind of next step for you. So practice these drills based on the assessment that I showed at the beginning of these exercises, perform them regularly, and reassess your own jaw and tongue on a regular basis. I promise you, if those assessments at the beginning revealed stuff to you, you have a lateral pelvic tilt, then working on this in tandem with the other drills necessary to correct lateral pelvic tilt that I put in the description down below, if you do all this stuff together, you're taking a very comprehensive approach to fixing your lateral pelvic tilt for good. If you have complicated muscle imbalances, postural misalignments, mobility issues, you just can't seem to crack these things, or you don't really know which drills you should be doing, some exercises you've tried online are making things worse, you might be a good fit for my online coaching program. When I work with online coaching clients, I assess their entire body on Zoom, all right? I assess their lifestyle as well, and then I build customized corrective exercise plans specifically for their body. I put a link to that down below if you want to check that out. I'll also pin a link to that in the first comment, in the comment section down below. But that's it for today's video. If you want me to make videos on something new in the future, let me know in the comments. I always read my comments, so stick down there what you want me to make videos on in the future, what you want to learn about, and I'll see you next time.